So my story is a story of a love affair that takes place in us, and that we call it Kundalini for for a certain reason. But we could also drop that term completely. And the story of this love affair is between two lovers. One is called Shiva, and the other one is called Shakti. And we sometimes tend to, because we all have this longing for this love affair to succeed, we sometimes get confused and we think that Shiva and Shakti, they are two halves in the manifest reality. But Shiva and Shakti are definitely not romantic partners in that sense, as me being one half and somebody else in the manifest reality being the other half. But actually, our reality of Shiva and Shakti, our external reality, is just an echo, a resonance, a reflection, or an expression of this one love affair that takes place inside you, inside your being. And that this is the real love affair that we are all hoping to fulfill. And because why? How do I know? Because as soon as we fulfill it, we forget all about the other Shiva and Shakti, you see? We don't care anymore. Sometimes we become celibate, and sometimes we just don't care, and if it happens, it happens. Which is, in a way, the same. So, Shiva and Shakti. At the beginning, it all started as only Shiva. Shiva, when I say Shiva, I don't mean the ancient yogi, I'm talking about the divine aspect. And it all started as one that decided to play with itself this love affair. In order to experience more consciousness, more to be able to get to know itself, it split itself into two. And then we got Shiva and Shakti. Shiva is what we call in our can say in the professional language, we call cosmic Kundalini. Cosmic Kundalini is the active intelligent force that encompasses the entire universe, and it is by nature unified and whole. It's everywhere. It's here right now, and it's also always in contact, forever in contact with our what is called our crown chakra, the center of the top of our head, where there is a sort of an energetic opening. And this type of Kundalini always somewhat, to a certain degree, flows into our body, sustaining it, animating it. But then Shiva said, let's make ourselves into two, because there will be conscious human beings, conscious forms, and to allow this love affair to happen, there have to be two. And then Shiva put at the lower base of our spine, most accurately at the area of the perineum, a seed. And this seed contains exactly the same energy that we call cosmic Kundalini, the Kundalini that is everywhere. And this seed is full of cosmic energy, and even one seed of cosmic energy is a lot, right? It's think of it. It's a seed that contains the intelligence, the wisdom, the power, the creativity of the Creator itself. So this was planted and remained mostly dormant. Some of this, the energy of the seed, also constantly flows upwards, just like cosmic Kundalini descends through the crown chakra. What we call individual Kundalini ascends constantly, but very little. And even little of it is enough for us to think, to have emotions, to act. Sometimes when we have more like greater aspirations of creativity, like let's say higher art or higher wisdom, then we draw more of it. But the seed, the secret of the seed, the secret of this encapsulated Shiva in us, this remains mostly unknown. And this seed is what we call Shakti. And by nature, this Shakti is a feminine energy. When we say a feminine energy, don't get confused with gender talk. Feminine means receptive, longing, and rising energy. That energy that wishes to unite, the energy that wishes to be absorbed. In that sense, when we experience ourselves as spiritual aspirants, we are all feminine. Do you understand? There is a known statement, to God we're all women. And in that, energetically speaking, this is our reality. So, Shakti usually remains dormant. But when we begin to feel this, the spiritual longing, Shakti begins to awaken too. And if our longing is pure, then it can awaken even more, because Shakti is by nature longing. And this is very important to understand. That's why we cannot approach the issue of Kundalini through ambition, through I want to become enlightened, I want to achieve superpowers. With these superpowers and ambition, you can reach so much. At a certain point, you will get stuck, because the only law that Shakti and Shiva obey is the law of love. It's a matter of heart, and interestingly, the heart is exactly the middle between this potential union, exactly in the middle, between the perineum and the crown chakra. It bridges, it connects, and it's the only energy that could actually enable eventually the individual Kundalini to rise all the way up. In terms of our, what we call our chakra system, which we are going to talk about perhaps tomorrow, If we approach this story of love affair through ambition, we eventually get stuck in the solar plexus. And many people get stuck in the solar plexus. The Kundalini rises all the way, happily, and then that's it. And something seems to be missing. And this thing that is missing is love. Is the realization that we are here on the spiritual journey to enable this love affair to be fulfilled. We allow it to happen. We give space to it. Through when we meditate, when we practice. And the amazing thing is that when we are tuned into this love affair through love, the whole journey becomes shockingly effortless and light, and because we understand the right language. We understand what is really happening. So Shakti is always longing, and when we begin to long consciously, we want to awaken to the reality, we want to unite. We want this expresses itself as our wish to come back home. This is sometimes what we say, I want to come home. I feel lost, I feel separate, I feel individual. But what really happens inside me when I say I want to come back home is that this seed is longing to its master, you see? This seed is longing to reach its original state of union. This is what it knows, this is what it remembers, because it's made of it. And there is so much in its way that it's unbelievable. So many earthly attachments and that express themselves in one very harsh type of reality, which is the law of gravity. How can the seed go all the way upward when gravity, the gravity of the whole area of the perineum, the first chakra, the root chakra, the whole energy pulls it down, keeps it there in an earthly attachment and focus. That means that there has to be a strong longing. Such a longing that eventually becomes blind to all other longings and sees the target. The means is love, the target is union. So Shakti begins to awaken, but it's very difficult, and every time it manages to shoot itself upward, like gaining some momentum towards its beloved. It tries to reach a hand and with its hand. Luckily, this cosmic seed has a highway. It has a road, and the road is called. You can see it in this description, in this image. The road is what is called Sushumna, the central column, which is the central tube within the entire Saturn nervous system. Shiva was very wise. He knew to place this tube for the cosmic sea to be able to flow. So then our story as spiritual seekers, we think we want to awaken, but actually we are just trying to allow this love affair to happen. The energy of Shakti begins to rise, and the energy of Shiva begins to descend, because it is attracted. They are magnetized towards each other. That is the law. And the whole spiritual law is a magnetic one. That's why when we really enter the spiritual process, we're just feeling that as if we are drawn by a magnet. The energy begins to flow down and begins to ascend, and sometimes they manage to touch each other to a significant way, and this is what we can call a cosmic kiss. We experience this kiss as the excitement of spiritual revelation, a spiritual experience where we suddenly are transported into reality. Sometimes this happens spontaneously. Sometimes this happens out of great intention and focus, but always it happens when we allow it, but we don't do it. And then in deeper spiritual experiences, there is an actual love making. The two manage to reach with a sufficient intensity to become one for some time. Then we have an experience of samadhi. We have a revelation that can last for some time. But still there is not enough intensity for Shakti to reach all the way to the crown, and not enough attraction for Shiva to reach all the way down. You see, because eventually they want to become one energy, not my Kundalini. You see, my Kundalini, I feel my Kundalini. My Kundalini is wonderful to feel, but it's not the purpose. We want to feel that Kundalini becomes one and the same, that the cosmic and the private, we cannot differentiate anymore. And we all have this longing for union, right? As we said at the beginning, we have this in the form of feeling half, longing for another half, because we remember, we just don't know exactly what it is. So we try the other stuff first. And it never reaches union, you see, because it cannot. The union can only happen between the manifest and the unmanifest. It's the positive and the negative, the form and the formless, not between two forms. That's impossible, even technically speaking, right? Now, luckily we have strong aids on our side. First of all, we have the heart. The heart is the center of longing, where where we feel this deepest attraction even without understanding why, because sometimes if you stop to ask yourself, why am I seeking spiritually, you might get puzzled, because it's not really an intellectual reason. It's something that is beyond us, that is stronger than us. But then we also have the second chakra, and this second chakra, we know it as the chakra of many times of erotic excitement, of desire. And this energy is such a powerful tool for us, because this enhances the capacity for union. And there comes a day in which Shiva and Shakti manage to generate enough momentum to reach each other and to form this one stream throughout the Sushumna, throughout the central column. This happens as a combustion. It's they simply flow into one another in a way that allows this cosmic seed that seems so small at the beginning, but it actually contains the entire universe. When this combustion happens, the seed explodes. It explodes in every direction. And all the dormant intelligent awareness that was in it, waiting, reaches all the way up here. And finally, there is a union. And there is the full consciousness of Shiva awakened. No more masculine, no more feminine. Only in purely this original state. But the thing is that this original state is now quite extraordinary, because it all happens through one tiny human form. And that's a miracle. Because how can a tiny human form contain this original union? Well, I don't know. Thank God it can. When this happens, and with every kiss and with every lovemaking between the two, we experience there is a side effect. This side effect is called bliss. That's what we also get to enjoy from this union. So bliss is the result of the union. Because as soon as it happens, we feel completely at home. This feeling of being completely at home is bliss. It's not ordinary happiness. It's the happiness that takes place when the manifest unites with the unmanifest. Jesus called this love story the Holy Trinity. Kundalini was then the Holy Spirit, the cosmic seed, the sun, the shakti, cosmic Kundalini, the Father. These are just other words that try to describe the very same experience. And he also stressed that love is that which connects the Father and the Son. That's the magnet. So what are the conclusions of our story? One conclusion is that longing is and love are the very essences of the spiritual journey. Not ambition, not will. And it doesn't matter how much we practice, how we practice. What really matters is that this energy is there, this attraction, this magnetic force, and that we only respond to. This longing, this attraction, they lead us to certain practices, or they lead us to other practices, or they tell us don't practice, do something else. It doesn't matter. And if you feel this longing, and if your heart intuitively responds to this story without understanding why, then consider yourself blessed. Because that means that Shakti is already awakened. It has already begun its journey upward. So ambition is only a tool. It can be a good quality, but not the center of this process. I'm saying it because when we're going to experience the expansion, all you need to do is not to try hard to make it happen. Again, please, when we try hard to make it happen, Kundalini actually gets stuck. We need to simply allow it. It's a gentle process. It's actually an essentially feminine process. In this way, we also cannot create what is called, in professional terms, Kundalini crisis, which is what happens when we try too hard or push it too much or make it too quick. Any love affair needs to reach an organic maturation. But we also should remember that it doesn't want to remain a relationship. It wants to reach union. Sometimes we tend to keep this dual experience of love and the other as God or the deity or Shiva, to worship it, to see it up there and to pray and so on and so on. But this is not the drive here. The drive is union. And the indication is bliss. Do you know the famous pop song that in which they constantly sing that the only way is up? You know, the only way is up, baby. No? Okay, we should play it tomorrow, perhaps, as an inspiration. And I know they don't mean it, but sometimes when I get tired of lyrics, then I imagine that they mean a certain thing that they don't. So the only way is up is the law of shakti Kundalini. Which means that it really aspires to ascend. And this is literally like that. We physically experience this ascension. It's not a mythology. That's what is so amazing, because at a certain point, when you begin to experience this rush of energy throughout what we call our spine, that's the first time when we think, oh my God, this is real. And there is an actual sea down there. There is an actual Shiva up there. It's not a mythology. It's not a story. It's not a legend. We live this legend. We embody it. And we are the only ones who can enable it through our love, through our passion, through our focus. And focus is completely enough. Do you understand? It's like whatever we're doing during these 2 days, it's not important. You can see, we might focus on the technique and this guided meditation, that. It's not really important. The real thing that is happening is that 50 people in one room focus on spiritual longing. That's it. And that alone makes the energy rise. Responding to an actual magnetic force above the head.